Hey guys, what's up? It's CarsonLee and I'm here today to talk about how I scheduled my writing over the 4 years that I've been in college and some of my tips and tricks for maybe doing it a little bit better than I did. We're gonna go semester by semester through my 7 and then my plans for my 8th semester and then end with my tips. Let's get right into it. My first semester was sad and nerve-wracking, which I think most people going to college, your first semester is a little hard. It's your first time being fully away from home. Even though I came home a lot on the weekends, it was still really difficult for me to adjust to being by myself without my family. I ended up scheduling my classes where I had classes every single day, Monday through Friday, and they were kind of spread out really weird. Like I would have classes really early and then this big long break and then a class at night, and I eventually realized that that was not the kind of schedule I wanted to have because I didn't get anything done in those big breaks of time. That being said, even though I had time during the day, I wasn't using that time to write. I was mostly writing at night. And even though I'm being kind of hard about my first semester, I would say it was one of my most productive semesters. I wrote almost every night, and I used the website 750 Words. I think that's what it's called. I will link it down below. That's what I used pretty much every day to at least write 750 words a day in my story. I was working on Valor at the time, my first novel. I have completed that novel since then, but that is the project that I was working on my first semester, freshman year. Moving on to my second semester, I figured out that I didn't like the schedule that I had, so I ended up moving my classes so I only had classes Monday through Thursday and I had Friday off. I liked that a lot better because I ended up squishing my classes together. Some students don't do that. Personally, that's how I like my classes. I like to have them back to back for, you know, however many hours and then be done rather than have breaks in between. So that's how my schedule looked. I was still working on Valor. I had not finished Valor, and I was trying for a higher word count a day. I was trying for around 1,000 words a day or a little bit more. I can remember telling myself that 1,000 words a day is gonna get you, you know, 30,000 words a month, and I'm planning it out that way. But I was writing less consistently than I was my first semester. I was not writing every night. And I think part of that is just as I got more used to college and I made more friends, I was doing more things, and I just wasn't home every night, you know, writing and then going to bed at 10. And because I hadn't formed a habit my first semester, it was easy to push writing to the wayside. So that is my freshman year. So my third semester, the start of my sophomore year, I ended up rooming with one of my college friends who is not necessarily a friend anymore. So because we roomed together, when we were both in the room, we were always talking to each other and watching shows and, you know, having fun. So I didn't get a lot of writing done at night when we were both there. I ended up trying to write more in the mornings or in the middle of the day, depending on when she was in class. So I would have the room to myself. At this point, again, we're still on a downward slope, less writing, less consistently. I think I was trying at this point. I was really close to finishing Valor, and so the motivation was there. I just wasn't doing it. I wasn't getting it done for whatever reason. So we're in my sophomore year and I still have not really ventured out to writing in different places. I would occasionally write in this little walkway that I like at my university, but I wouldn't write in the library or in other buildings. I just wrote in my room whenever I had the time to write in my room, which is, as you can imagine, pretty limiting. So my fourth semester, the second semester of my sophomore year, we're at the end of 2 years in college. Basically, no writing on Valor, my novel. If you've been watching my channel, my grandfather died recently, a year ago, of brain cancer, and at this point in my sophomore year, you know, it was kind of consuming my thoughts. And I was very sad about it, and I ended up taking a nature writing class this semester where I wrote a piece about my grandfather. So I did do writing, it just wasn't on my novel. I was working on kind of a creative journaling sort of exercise about my papa. I was doing some poems and plays and short stories and things like that. Other work that was not my novel. Moving into my junior year, my 5th semester, I finally finished Valor. It was done. I was so excited about it. I was starting projects that I wasn't continuing. And at this point, I believe I'm on YouTube and making videos. And you can see me working on various projects, making NaNoWriMo videos about a novel that is I Am a Monster. If you are watching my channel, it's kind of a project that I gave up on, but didn't really give up on the characters, so I want to do something with it. But I was working on that a little bit. I was working on a couple of other projects, and I would start things and not finish them because I didn't really know what I wanted to do after Valor. I knew Valor was part of a series. I knew I wanted to continue the stories of these characters, and this is the semester where I ended up discovering University Scholar and applying for this project. So in my first semester junior year, I also did a lot of work on not necessarily planning or outlining, but conceptualizing Might, my second novel that is the companion sequel to Valor. So I was thinking about it, and I was definitely doing a lot of, sorry, a neighbor came home. I was doing a lot of free writing and journaling about it, but not necessarily any writing that was going to go towards a project. I did work on a couple of plays this semester. I really do enjoy writing plays. I don't write them often, only when I have particular inspiration for them, but I did write a play that I'm very proud of that semester that was really fun for me to write, and I think I definitely enjoyed having the freedom to switch up the genres that I was working on and, you know, dabble in a whole bunch of different things that semester. My 6th semester at school was a really tough semester for me. It's at the end of my junior year. I was taking really hard classes because I was pushing myself. I had gotten University Scholar, and with University Scholar I had added on honors to both my history major and my English major. So I was taking honors courses, I was taking graduate level courses, I was taking more courses than I had any other semester at college, and I was just overwhelmed. I was writing maybe a few days a week at the most, and that writing was outlining Might because I had gotten University Scholar, woo, and I knew I had to write this novel, so any type of writing energy I had went towards planning that, and I was using anatomy of story and also just the 3-act 9-block kind of structure to plan the story out and plot it so that I would be set for writing it. But other than that, I wasn't really working on anything. I was just trying to make it through. Which brings us to my 7th semester. That is the semester I just finished. I had less classes. Actually, that's not true. I had the same amount of classes, it just felt like less work because some of them were independent studies, which meant that I wasn't going to the class to do the work. I was doing it on my own and meeting with the professors, you know, once a week or once every other week to discuss the work that I had been doing. During this semester, I wrote more, but still not a whole lot. I had drafted a lot of Might, not a lot of Might, I had drafted about 30,000 words over the summer. And so moving into my senior year with Might, my professor decided that we, instead of me moving forward with drafting more, we were going to go through chapter by chapter and work on editing notes and revisions that she thought would make the story stronger. So that's what I put some of my time into during that semester, and I was going weekly to meet with her and to discuss my novel, but I wasn't necessarily adding words to the story, or at least not consistently in any way. Which moves us into my final semester for my bachelor's degree, semester 8, which I am starting in a week, literally a week from today. Whew, I am nervous. Not gonna lie, very nervous. And so let me just give you the lay of the land. I'm only taking 2 actual physical classes, Intro to Theater and a creative writing class, and those will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I won't have any classes. I'm also taking 2 theses courses, one for my English thesis and one for my history thesis, and both of those are independent studies. So they'll be meeting, I'll probably meet with them once a week, and then the work will be done on my own outside of those meetings. My plan going into this semester is to try to get through a new outline for Valor, my first novel. I have a video coming to you guys soon about me rereading it and starting Susan Dennard's revision program, so be on the lookout for that. I assume maybe next week that video will come out. And then I need to finish Might and have the first 70 or so pages revised and in really good condition. So those are my writing must-dos over the semester, but I haven't necessarily come up with a writing schedule yet. My goal, though, is to use these next couple of tips that I'm going to offer you to come up with my plan for the semester and to actually complete the work that I need to complete. So my first tip is be realistic. Can you only write 1 day a week? Can you write every other day? Do you know that Fridays are so busy for you that you're not going to get any writing done? Do you know you're not really a morning person and mornings aren't going to be good for you? Be realistic with yourself when you're setting those goals. I know I've said it before, but it really bears repeating. If you're going to set unrealistic goals, then you're going to fail, and nobody likes failing at their goals. I can tell you from personal experience because I have failed at many a goal, and it is not fun. Be realistic. I think that I can probably write at least 3 days a week, and if those 3 days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then that's what I'm going to plan for. Number 2, schedule and reschedule. Schedules are meant to work for you, and if your schedule isn't working for you, then it's time to switch it up. Change up the times that you're writing, change up the days that you're writing, change up the amount of time that you want to write. Maybe change the location that you're writing. If it's not working for you, then come up with a new schedule. Don't stick with an old schedule that you know isn't working, because maybe one day you'll get back to it. Just change it. You have the power to. Along with that is having that time blocked out for writing, knowing that you don't have anything else to do in that time but write, and evaluate that every week. So that's what I do. I like to set weekly goals, and when I sit down on Sunday and look at the week coming up, and yes, my week starts on a Monday because I think almost everybody that's in school or work, your week starts on a Monday because that's just conceptually what makes sense. I sit down on a Sunday and I look at what's coming up. So if you have time, you know, let's say from 2 to 4 on Fridays, that's your writing time, but you know that you need to go to an event for your English class at 2:30, then take those 2 hours that you have scheduled and move them somewhere else in your schedule. You don't need to say, oh, you know, well, I'm gonna miss out on it, but maybe I'll squeeze some in, or maybe I'll write earlier in that day. Don't do any maybes. You already know going into your week, this is a scheduling conflict that I have, and you have the power to resolve that conflict before it comes to a head and you are running out of time, because that's what I do. And then my last tip is to keep writing whatever it is. As I went through all of my semesters, and you can see from what I've told you, I wasn't always writing my novels. I wasn't always working on the project that I necessarily should have been working on, but I wanted to continue writing. So if your novel is not particularly inspiring you, if you're sitting there with a blank screen, you know, banging your head into your hand for the 2 hours that you told yourself you're gonna sit at your desk to write, write something else. Try a short story, try a poem, try a play. Maybe do just like a journaling activity, or, you know, some other creative endeavor. Try to continue writing even if it's not in your project, because that's how you're going to build that writing muscle and that need to continually create with your words. So that is a rundown of how I wrote during college and some tips I have for writing more in college. Please let me know if you guys have any questions about my writing in college, or if you have your own tips, leave those in the comments down below so everybody can benefit from them. Thank you so much for watching this kind of long-winded video. I will see you guys soon with my next video. If you like what you saw and want to see more writing content from me, please hit that subscribe button down below. Like I said, I will be having a video coming to you soon about me rereading Valor, my first novel, and I also have a couple other videos in the works that I think will be really fun and entertaining, so I would love it if you stick around. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!